Hey, out there, legal warriors. Did you ever wonder what the pitfalls are to avoid for somebody who is charged with a crime but has a co-defendant? That means there is more than one person charged in the same case or with the same crime in the same case. Well, it's a very tricky area of the law. So if you're interested in this, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Lynnwood, Washington. My law firm has been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington state for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. Now I'm just going to jump right into it. A co-defendant in a criminal case. There are very serious criminal cases with co-defendants, and that's not what this video is about. Murders and things like that, accessories, stuff like that. I'm talking about the ordinary type of gross misdemeanor or simple misdemeanor case where there's more than one person charged with a crime. And if you're a parent, you may run into this. Many times we see co-defendants in cases like minor in possession of alcohol, or if you're a person who does crabbing or clamming or things, and you're out on your boat, you're digging up clams, and Fish and Wildlife come by and they charge 3 or 4 of you with the same crime because you were all doing it together. Or you're a gun enthusiast and you're shooting some guns with your friends out in the field, and a bullet ricochets and it gets close to somebody, and all of you get charged with reckless endangerment because they don't know who's the one who fired the bullet. And so in these cases, there's likely going to be diverging interests in the case, and one attorney may not be able to represent someone due to a conflict of interest, because each person has to be free to say, well, it's that person's fault, it was that person's alcohol, or it was that person's bullet, or it was that person's boat, I was just along for the ride. And in that case, there's going to be co-defendants with different attorneys, and this is where the pitfalls come in. This is where the practice pointers, this is what you need to know is important when there's a case that has co-defendants. I think the most important thing is that your attorney, be it private attorney or public defender, get out in front of the case right away. Now, let's remember, I was a prosecutor for 7 years, and so I used to be the person making decisions about, what type of offers to give defendants, what cases to dismiss, who to let go, who to try to put in jail, stuff like that. And so generally prosecutors want to try to be fair. I think that's universal. You get drawn to that position, hopefully because you want to try to help people to be fair, not just because you want some power. Okay, so there's pressure on a prosecutor if they make an offer to one co-defendant, if they are similarly situated with the lack of certain criminal history in the past. Then if they make an offer that's accepted by one co-defendant or even made to one co-defendant, it sort of shuts out the other people, right? The other attorneys may get stuck having a harder time getting the prosecutor to move off the position they took the first time they made an offer. So it's important that your attorney either one, get out in front of the case and be the primary person trying to communicate. If you trust your attorney, that's what we would try to do, because all of us think we're pretty good at what we do, but from our point of view, we certainly feel that we're probably the best equipped to get the best result for our client. We don't want the other attorney messing it up from our point of view. So either your attorney needs to get out in front of it, or your attorney needs to get a hold of the other attorneys and say, hey, while we have separate clients, maybe they have similar interests because they're friends or know each other or related to each other. What can we do to work together to try to make sure that we get the best result? So it's important that if you have an attorney and the co-defendant who's a friend of yours doesn't have an attorney, to pay attention to see, encourage them to maybe get counsel, because if they go in and plead guilty to the case on their own, the prosecutor is going to be more now wanting you to plead guilty because the co-defendants pled guilty, right? And most of the time, the prosecutor may have the ability to prove the case, like minor in possession or other types of fishing and wildlife violations. And when we're trying to get a good result, is more based upon equity stuff we've done after the fact. And so if they're not lenient to one person first in the case, they're going to be less likely to be lenient to you. Now, the opposite can happen, right? The opposite can happen where they make a decent offer to one co-defendant. So that's the second point. You want to try to see what's going on with the other case. If they end up dismissing one of the other cases, maybe they're more likely to dismiss your case. They give the other case an SOC, maybe they're more likely to give you one. But the point of this video is we have to treat this case differently because one case will affect the other because these human beings are making the decisions. If the situation says with co-defendants that you're less culpable because, let's say, you were less involved or something, or hey, it was a bunch of kids with alcohol and your kid never touched the alcohol and never drank the alcohol and the cops cited everyone, well, then you're definitely going to want to make sure that your child in that situation is treated differently than the other people that were more culpable for what happened. So co-defendant cases, if it gets to a trial, they could join them all for one trial. Your attorney can move to separate them to get them in separate trials. That's strategy in each particular case about how it might play with the jury or a judge. But the bottom line that I wanted to point out, and I'll reiterate, is get in front of it more quickly. You want to control the story. If some other attorney is telling a different story ahead of time, we don't want them framing your issues. You want to frame your own issue. All right? So if you found this useful, I hope you did. Please like and please subscribe. More people get the help they need. More importantly, if you have a criminal case involving co-defendants or not, feel free to reach out to my firm. We'll listen to what happened. We'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.